What? Has it been years since your Christmas cactus last bloomed? This is the Beloved Plant channel and I'm gonna teach you how to create good conditions for your Christmas cactus to bloom. This plant will be actively blooming for you during autumn or fall. Regardless of where you are, this is the season when it's going to bloom. So in Brazil, where I'm from, this plant will actually bloom around May because that's when our autumn happens, right? And we call it the Mayflower. So in the Northern Hemisphere where I live now, it's Christmas cactus because this is when, well, you get the idea, right? I'm gonna be talking about light a lot here, so let me clarify. We should give this plant bright light all year long as much as possible. And what's gonna signal to the plant that it's time to bloom is the fact that the daily span of bright light is going to be shorter. So you're still gonna give it plenty of light during autumn, but the days are just shorter. And that darkness is very important to signal to the plant that it's time to produce flowers. So this is the biggest hint actually. If you think about it, in both hemispheres, autumn is the season of the year where any plant is going to get less light during the day. The days are just shorter. Even in winter, we get longer days than we do in autumn. So you kind of have to give this plant bright light, but indirect light all year long as much as possible because it does store energy during the year. And then when it's about to bloom right now during fall as well, you also need to give it light, so put it close to a window. The temperature also matters here. So autumn comes after summer, summer's hot, in some places, not in Ireland. Autumn is chillier and that kind of activates, it signals to the plant that it's about time to bloom as well. But of course you can give this plant a little push so it will bloom, my dear. So you can just you can give it some NPK 414-8, which will favor blooming. I've actually given this plant a bit of everything. I've told you that, right? You can go organic as well. You also need to watch out for watering. If you're feeding your plant, especially with organic or slow release plant food, you kind of need to water it to a schedule because otherwise you might end up burning your roots, right? You don't want that. That's not going to help blooming. That's not going to help on anything, actually. Really lucky for me, my husband built me a greenhouse this year, so I get to bring my Christmas cactus here and I leave it here. So take a look at this. It's filled with buds, right? Let me show you the other ones. I have these two as well that I show you in other footage. You can see that the flowers are already starting to drop. But there's no buds coming on, but these ones are new. They are new, so they came from the shop like this. This one is with me for a year or so, so it's blooming again. It's the second time it's blooming. So the thing is that the conditions here in this greenhouse is that it's chilly in here. You can't see much here, but I have this thermostat here that will measure the temperature. If it gets too cold, it just goes ahead and turns on the heating, but the heating is not powerful, so it will only ensure that the plants don't get frozen, and it gets up to 10 degrees max. So I'm kind of putting it in extreme conditions, but they're doing well. All the tropical plants here are doing well due to the light. I think they're okay with the cold as long as they get more light. But I can tell you for sure that what played the biggest difference for me with the Christmas cactus and any plant, to be honest, is the light, exposing it to as much light as you can. Like the season is going to control for you how much light it's gonna get throughout the day, so there's no missing out on that. Well, to be honest with you, I actually tried mimicking, like simulating autumn and putting the plant in a box like at 5 o'clock at the end of an afternoon to see if it would bloom. But guys, who has the time for that? Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It didn't work. If you got that to work, like, just let me know. Maybe I'll give it a try again. But who am I kidding? No, I won't. I got better things to do. But, you know, if you grow plants, you gotta know this. You need to let nature play its part. They are in charge here and we can give it a little push, but you know, the whole therapeutical thing for me about growing plants and seeing them develop is actually to accept that nature has a cycle, it's in control, and we need to learn and respect the time and the rhythm of things, right? The world is so messed up these days, and pandemic is here just to slap us in the face with that, like, wake up, people. So yeah, I hope I helped you somehow on learning what's important for your plant to bloom. But again, keep in mind that nature's in charge.